Barcia's riding and you just hear the rev limiter on the Ducati. And he was like, well, Justin feeling comfortable because he's just bouncing off this limiter. So like you could tell and you can learn the rider's characteristics by that.
I met a Gypsy.
So he's not riding the way that people think.
Not in the transitions and stuff like that. He's not bouncing off the rev limiter on the track. His actually RPMs are actually in the peak torque on the track.
Huh.
But in the air, that thing's bouncing of every limiter that's available to it.
Did you ever ask him why?
It just is what it is. You're not changing their styles or their technique at that point. We just made a joke of it. Now, he was riding press day last weekend on the Ducati, and he went out in the first session and it was okay. And I was stupid with my old suspension guy at the time. Barcia's riding and you just hear the rev limiter on the Ducati. And he was like, well, Justin feeling comfortable because he's just bouncing off this limiter. So like you could tell and you can learn the rider's characteristics by that.
Yeah.
And even the last year of TLD, he would be riding and he looks funny in the air. And I'm like, it's got arm pump. And I'd tell Frankie, hey, Justin's got arm pump. And then after the race, Justin's like, my arms are pumped. Frankie's like, you were right. I said, yeah, that's when you become, your boys, and you know when they're having bad days or you know when there's a problem, and I could see it. I was just like, he's got arm pump. He did this weird thing with his arms one time. I'm like, fuck, he's got arm pump. I might as well just walk back to the semi.
No way.
Yeah, little things like that.
So you get that in tune with your guys.
Yeah.
And that's just because you've seen them ride so many
And then
times.
I got that with Pierce. I got that with Ryder. Like those years, like I said, the years with Austin were good and Shanty and the boys. But then like 2023 at GasGas when I was crew chief, I had a suspension guy that was on the same page as me. And everyone would leave. We'd go dyno suspension and we'd just tinker. And we had a good bike. It was the first year of that platform GasGas. And we had multiple podiums with Justin. And we almost won Indy when him and Roxon went at it.
Yeah.
And Justin would start 8th, finish 2nd.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if Justin can start 5th, we can win.
Yeah.
So I'm back to the drawing board. Technically, like, what can we change? What mapping do we need to do? Can we take some timing out? Just geeking on the things that I've learned. Like most of it, I learned at Pro Circuit. Nothing new. It's just how you pieced it together for Justin.
And it takes time.
You got to go. That's why Ducati have evolved, like we spoke about earlier. Like, you don't know where you're at until you roll out for Anaheim. Then you've either got to just keep it going or you got to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
And also not panic to reinvent the wheel. You've got to like strategically pick it apart.
Yeah.
Not throw shit at the wall and hope it sticks, because I see that happening everywhere often. But I think it's the ones that are, I'm a thinker. No doubt about it. I think on the airplane, I think at home, and just how we can be 1% better. But going back to that year, 2023 was sick. We got a lot of podiums, and I'd even get mad at Justin. We finished 3rd. I'm like, I ain't coming to race for 3rd. I ain't coming to race for 2nd. And like, he'd almost win, and I'm like, okay, we're right there. If we started 2 positions further up, we'd win. Looking at the lap time and stuff like that. And then obviously it rained in New York, and we got that win, but it was like, he was going to win that night, whether it was raining or dry.
Yeah.
Believe that.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, just the way that he was trending and the way that you guys were trending.
And we were just dialing him in. and yeah, he was winning whether it was dry or wet that night. But to win that one was a big deal for me in my career too.
I was going to say that would have been your first 450 win, eh?
Yeah, 450 win, crew chief, like, meant a lot. Yeah.
And so to get to the position that you're in now, so you started this year, brand new team, privateer team.
Yep.
Why leave a crew chief position at a factory race team to start something like this?
Okay, so I was forced to leave. The TLD team stopped at the end of 24.
Okay.
So we raced 23, raced 24. We had Ryder and Pierce and Justin on the TLD team. And the TLD had another year contract with GasGas, but for whatever reason, out of my understanding, is that the team stopped. So we all got told to go look for jobs. Now, Justin, I believe, made some calls, and I was hired by KTM to work on the Rockstar GasGas program. So Nate would have been my boss, which would have been really cool.
Yeah.
So I was there for 5 weeks, and then KTM went into their financial difficulties and let 17 of us go in the KTM motorsport department in the US. So motor guys went, suspension guys went, stuff like that. And
what was that day like?
Terrible. I was last in, first out, pretty much.
Really?
That's why. I was on the books for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I was good because I was going to be with Barcia. On the GasGas, it was rocks, whatever. It's the same stuff, you know? So we could have just kept the ball rolling. But that day was rough. And I've always wanted to work with Nate. Yeah. And even before I took the position that I'm currently in, I called him and picked his brain and stuff like that.
So what made you, like, if you'd never worked with him before, how did you know that you wanted to work with him?
I kind of worked alongside him. I was doing a lot of the testing with Barcia at GasGas for like the whole brands and stuff. I had a good rapport with the guys in Austria because some of the guys in the departments in Austria I worked with when I was back in Europe.
Yeah.
So they worked their way up in KTM in Austria and run departments.
Yeah.
And I did the racing thing, come over here. So it was like reconnecting.
So you guys worked your way up in separate lanes and converged.
So it was easy to text them, hey, what do you have here? We're struggling with this. What do you think? And they're like, oh, we could do this and this. And it just went straight to the departments, you know.
So
it was
communication. Bridge.
It was just awesome. And like, they were happy that I was successful here. I got to work with them again in Europe. And it was just really cool. I really enjoyed that. And I learned a lot in that process. Nate has a good rap in the industry. Calm, calculated, experienced. Everyone wants to work with him. Dean said he's a really good team manager. You would have worked with him. Like even his podcast on here, you're like, a lot of knowledge.
He's just there's like people that talk the talk, and then there's people that talk the talk and walk the walk.
Yeah.
And then there's people that just walk the walk.
Yeah.
You know, and he just walks the walk.
Yeah.
And he's one of the people I could never say enough good things about him.
Exactly.
And the things that he did for me personally when I was at a very I was just like very young, very inexperienced, very immature. It would have been very easy for him to just like really be like, bro, you were fucking way too hard to deal with.
Yeah.
But he never did. He just treated me with so much kindness, so much respect.
Humble.
Gave me so much wisdom. Like, dude, I used to drive and work out with him every day at 5:30.
Yeah.
He'd be like, hey, man, you should start coming to the gym with me in the mornings. And I would be like, yeah, okay.
See you there. Yeah.
And I would go to the gym and we'd work out every day.
That's cool.
And it would like just, there's something so special about him and the way that he is a leader. And yeah, so it's like, it's interesting that you say you wanted to work with him.
And also
because it's like,
yeah,
what did you know? Because I know what that is.
So it's hard to explain to the listeners too, but someone just has this aura about themselves and you respect them and the experience you knew.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like he raced for Mitch. So he knew kind of like where I came from too. And he was on the different side of it, but still you learn the same ways. And even when I was there with Barcia on the TLD program, he ran the Husky program and the testing was all throughout. It was not a secret, you know, everyone could help everyone and stuff. And Nate would be like, hey, what did you learn today? Or why not? What about trying this? And just clicked. We didn't have a lot of like time to work together like that, but it was gonna work. Yeah, it was gonna work. And it was just like, hey, go do your deal. I trust you. It just didn't last that long, you know. It was only 5 weeks and then, a lot of us were out of there. So that sucked. Especially the timing. I mean, the timings, they couldn't help it, but I turned down some good jobs at the end of the TLD program because I'm like, nope, I want to stay here. I like it here. I get to work with Justin still. I'm going to work with Nate. It's just going to be a different energy drink logo on the bike. And then after 5 weeks, it kind of like, it is what it is. They get their orders from Europe and they just got to cut some people and it's business at the end of the day. So I was like, now what?
10 years of being at the top of the sport as a top mechanic, crew chief, to then just not have a job.
Yeah. So obviously they don't care about resumes, didn't care about experience or anything like that. It's just a number.
A number, yeah.
So that sucked. Like it just showed me that the industry is kind of ruthless.
For sure.
And like one of my good friends always told me that. He said, you need a backup plan always because someone will chew you up and spit you out when you least expect it. And that's what happened to me.
That is
and others too, you know.
Yeah.
Good mechanics in the same situation.
So how do you land at the team that you're at now?
So I kind of chilled for a little bit. I wasn't going to get a job until the end of the year. So that was like a year ago. And then I got let go at like 10 a.m. 10:35, I was in Mitch's office.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I just got let go. And he's like, what? Why? I'm like, oh, budget cuts, I guess. He goes, well, they're idiots. He goes, something good will come of this. I'm like, well, I don't see it now. And anyway, so I spoke with him a bit, spoke to some other teams. It didn't really fit. So I went back to Mitch for a year, hoping that it would grow into something else. I didn't go to many races that season. I helped out a lot behind the scenes. Just didn't tick my boxes. If that makes sense. But I know he gave me an opportunity to pay the mortgage and to still be a part of it. And
just to not completely disconnect.
go to Home Depot and have to go back to England or something like that, or do something that I really, really hated. So I took that position. And then obviously after I took that position, the phone was ringing and I got positions that dream jobs. But I'm loyal to signing a contract is one of my strengths. So I signed the contract with Mitch. So I needed to write it out no matter what came across. So it was a tough year. So that was.
And you got a family at this point.
Yeah, I'm engaged. I mean, I don't have kids at this point, but like the home life is good.
Yeah. But so
I've
there's a
got
lot of
house.
responsibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we're just off chasing this dream, racing dirt bikes every weekend, like kid stuff. But it's actually like it's the career. It's what I moved here for. You know, it's what ticks my boxes and gets me out of bed in the morning. So I was back there more behind the scenes, and I wasn't getting my satisfaction out of life.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like seeping into my weekends because I didn't go to many races, and I'm just like, I would watch the races and I was just pissed. I was like seeing people have success and I'm just like, miss that feeling. Kind of miss the grind too. I mean, when you're in the grind, you're like, F this grind, you know, like this is not sustainable. But then when you're out of it, like forced, you're like, nah, it puts it into context that I need to race.
Yeah, it's like a purpose in it.
Yeah. So that year was tough. It was only last year. But then this other opportunity came around, what I'm in now, and there was some rumblings of this one guy out of New York helping out people, had a team this summer and just wanted to step it up. And then a couple people actually called me about it. Were like, hey, you should talk to this guy. He's interested in doing this. And then we got connected and we spoke a few times, and kind of like the rest is history.
Huh.
It happened so fast.
Did you ever think that this would be a project that you would take on?
No. I don't think it happens very often in this industry either.
Yeah.
Like something to come in so fast at such, I say high speed, but it was spoke a couple times in September. There wasn't much else for me in the industry. I spoke to a couple people. Wasn't anything to sink my teeth into. It was either stay where I'm at and just be pissed off, or honestly, I just rolled the dice and took a chance on myself. Because thinking over the years at TLD, I was like, well, if this was my team, I would do it this way.
Yeah.
When I was not a mechanic, when I was higher up. And then I was like, well, I would like to do this, but I wasn't allowed. But I think this would have a better outcome in 3 months. So it was a lot of that in the back of my mind, and given the full canvas to do it my way.
It's kind of like the last step, really.
Unbelievable, right?
In your career.
Yeah.
Because you've done everything.
Everything else.
Yeah.
Yep. Crew chief, mechanic, won races, 450, 250. It's scary. And even now I'm figuring it out a lot as I go. But a lot of people have supported me in my decision. And even when it came time to do the deal, I was like, I got to talk to Mitch about this. I can't just be like, no, I'm out. I'm like, hey, I've got this opportunity to build a team from pretty much zero and manage it. What do you think? And he's like, well, I don't want you to leave. But I get the opportunity. You got to kind of take it. So if I didn't have his blessing, I wouldn't have done it. I don't know why. Just the respect thing of being a part of that program for so many years, or one of the most influential guys in the industry. But I was just like, fuck, I'm just gonna roll the dice on myself. What's the worst that could happen? I fail. But you have that negative mindset. And like, I'm a glass half empty person, not a glass half full.
Yeah, you're
terrible.
You're a palm.
Yeah, that's why, from where I come from. Yeah. Terrible at that. So I'm just like, the slightest little thing would derail me. And I'm like, this is fucked. Like,
yeah,
it's not going to work, but you got to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. But it was a lot, but I've learned so much. Like, you take it for granted. These factory teams have these test tracks and it's just handled. And I'm like, I got to find insurance for a test track for a privateer team. And I've got to find the right insurance, and the vehicles are going to be insured on the property. And just, I know how to register a semi and insure a semi now. And it's just been unbelievable. But now looking back, I mean, I'm glad I took the opportunity because we're growing something really cool right now.
Yeah.
And the reason that I'm here is probably because of what we've achieved so far during Supercross season. And we've put a small little privateer team on the map. Year one.
It has been a pretty impressive year.
Appreciate that, yeah.
You just finished watching a clip from the full 3-hour podcast. You're on our Clips channel. The full podcast live on the Gypsy Tales podcast channel. It's linked right here. Go over to that channel, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and make sure you never miss a full episode of the Gypsy Tales podcast. If you don't want to watch it on YouTube, you want to watch it on the go, you can also head to our iTunes or Spotify to get the full 3-hour podcast in audio format.
I met a gypsy.